If you don't get net coated, you'll get punted from the back. It's season 2, we're still wrecking in style. Trading paint, trading insults all the while. From the green flag drop to the checkered stripe, it's bumper cars online, and it feels just right. One guy's on a controller swerving side to side. Another's got 3 monitors acting like he's F1's pride. Malone is laughing, spectating the scene, while we argue in the Discord, keep it mostly clean. It's season 2, we're still wrecking in style. Trading paint, trading insults all the while. We ain't pro drivers, but we've got the heart. Just don't break, check in turn 1, or your race won't start. Beehive Bill's got the mic, calling every spin. He's trying to stay serious, but he can't hold it in. Car upside down, oh wait, he landed fine. Somebody clip that, we'll watch it one more time. It's season 2, the legend's alive. Patreon chaos, yeah, we're born to drive. From Daytona nights to Watkins Glen walls, we're the kings of the league, at least until the next fall. And there you have it, folks. Season 2, same drivers, same chaos, maybe a little more beer. See you in turn 1.
We are green and we are a go here at Chicagoland. A great start for Bob's Jelly, but it's a black flag, just like last season. Bob's Jelly is black flag from the lead of the race. Checkers flies through. Already Bob's Jelly backing out of it, ducking down. He's going to have to visit pit lane. Checkers takes the lead of the race. Ahead of Tony Jabroni, Immortal Hitman tucks in behind. It's about 3-4 abreast behind at the moment as they go through, but it is all clean. No contact. All the drivers get through on the opening lap of the race. A little bit of contact with the wall there caused the smoke, but drivers get through. Checkers leads the way. Bob's Jelly is down pit lane to serve that black flag for jumping the start as we go on to the second lap of this 25-lap race. At the moment, Checkers leads, but it is drivers side by side in the mid-pack. That's the number 2, side by side with the 54 right now. Nick Helsing leading, running with Dawson. There's a spin in the background. That is the 12, Casket Man, down in the background, but he keeps it on the grass. It stays green. Now going to try and get past Checkers. 2 different lines. Checkers drops right to the apron as they come up towards turn number 1. Bob's Jelly on the outside. If we go yellow, he will get the lucky dog at the moment, but that's only if we go yellow. This is a lot longer than we saw last season. Any green flag run in the whole race. Drivers at the moment are going settling it down, but here comes Richard Dempsey. Dempsey's going to want to get a good result over Matty Quill. Matty Quill in 10th right now. This should put Dempsey into the lead of the championship. Dempsey gets up the inside of the Immortal Hitman. That tied to line though. Will it work through turns 1 and 2? It won't at the moment. The 6 gets a nose ahead. It's going to tuck down a little bit through the exit as they continue on through. You can see the number 5 of Sean Sims trying to follow Dempsey too. Sims with a win so far this season. It doesn't work out for him, and in fact it could be under attack now from Auburn Kyle. It is Auburn Kyle on the outside of Pawski as we come out of the opening 2 laps, and that is dropping down the order as well. On the inside, the Hernston, the tighter line not quite working. That's Bob Shirley, the number 3 machine, who continues to fall down the field as the lead lap cars go past. Of course, Bob Shirley already a lap down in this race with that opening lap black flag for the pole man to 7th position. Could be even behind Pawski as well, because Pawski gets to the outside in his O3 machine. Tighter line here for Sean Sims to see if he can try and hold it through turns 1 and 2. Through the exit of 2 though, and here comes the Hernster in the 14, makes that move through and makes the overtake. This is the battle at the front right now. Dempsey on the outside of Meckham, trying to get onto the immortal Hitman. Tony Jabroni in the 22 is in second because Checkers is already pulling a nice little lead out ahead. We're about halfway through this race already. The 7 is Slugger at the moment. They are fighting it out for 11th position here right now as we come up towards turn 3 and 4. Slugger moves back past Matty Quill. 2 different racing lines there, and the outside line just carrying more speed at the moment. Back up towards the fight at the front. Richard Dempsey finds himself in 3rd. Going to the inside is Tony Jabroni, who had the speed on the exit. It is going to be a slide job from Tony Jabroni, but it's not quite enough to defend that position. Dempsey now to the inside as we go through the first 2 turns. 3 different lines being run there. Who is going to have the faster exit? It's going to be the top line. The 22 and the 03. Dempsey back down to P5 now with Meckham just behind. He's up to 18th place right now on a little bit of a recovery after a slower start. Started obviously in 12th position as that was contact behind, and up the track goes lap traffic. He has to drop back through. Matt Malone up another position, but now he is trying to get around the outside, and that's a crash ahead, and we are under caution. The 5 is on his side. Heavy into the wall. That was Sean Sims. Huge accident following that spin that came together in that accident. There it is. Dempsey rides up, Jabroni rides down. Just 2 different lines converging, and there is Sean Sims. He was on track for a great result. There's the accident. He goes like the 22 just comes down, and there's nowhere for Sean Sims to go in all of that. And we are going to get ourselves underway for the second time. Checkers launches. He gets a great launch off of the start there. Richard Dempsey holds it on the outside of Pawski, looking to take 3rd position in the race. It looks like he possibly could do that here as we go through turn number 2. But Pawski holds it tight, and here, even tighter, comes Auburn Kyle. Can't quite do it. We are back under caution for the 2nd time. This is the back of the field. It goes 3 wide. Off for the restart here. 4 wide. As we get up towards turn 1, 4 wide. It's never going to happen. Multiple cars involved in contact there. 2 cars in the wall. Another car down off of the circuit towards the line. We are green here as we head across the line. It is a great restart for the leading drivers, not so much for Dempsey. He drops back, and here on the outside comes Nick Elsing. Auburn Kyle tries to make it 3 wide on this white flag lap. It is 3 wide. Dempsey falls down the order. Black flag for a jumble of drivers behind. But here comes Auburn Kyle to try to get up the inside of Nick Elsing. Dempsey looking for a good exit off the line. He can't do it out of the final turn. But Checkers wins. Checkers wins ahead of Immortal Hitman. The drivers all come in behind. Hello everybody and welcome to round number 6 of the Matt Malone Patreon League here in season number 2. We are at Brands Hatch for our first of 2 British racing circuits back to back here. We've got the Formula V's out on circuit right now as we enter the back half of this season. This is going to be an incredible event, no doubt. I was down in a practice server earlier on and asking drivers all about this race and the upcoming second half of the season. What I do know is that slipstream and that tow is going to have an effect on the lap time that you're able to put in. As you can see, purple lap times being set at the moment in this session. But before we focus too much on the qualifying session, which has just over 15 minutes to go, we are going to have a look at the rest of this season. Next week, we are out at Cadwell Park for round number 7, and that is in the Pontiac Solstice. It is going to be the slowest car of the season. It is going to be a fantastic race. We saw it out at Daytona last season, and it provided some fantastic racing. A really tight circuit next week, though. It's going to be great to see. We then head across to Zolder for our final round of November, on November the 8th, in the Porsche Cups. We then take a 3-week hiatus before we return for round number 9 at Pocono in the Cadillacs on December 6th. And then heading out for the final round of the season, we're going to Sebring in the Mazda MX-5s on December 13th. Make sure you hit the follow button here on Beehive Bill so that you do not miss out on any of the upcoming broadcasts or any of the races. Be sure also to head across to our YouTube channel and subscribe over there, where you'll be able to catch up with any races you do miss, and also all of the extended highlights. Drivers off at turn number 1. It is a tricky circuit to get used to if you certainly haven't been putting in the practice laps, and these cars, you want to sit them in 3rd and 4th gear only. Don't shift them down to 2nd. I think we're going to see a number of drivers spin through Druids, shifting it down to 2nd when you really don't want to. Talking about the car then, we are out in the Formula V machines, 1,200 cc's underneath their engines, and we will see how that acts as they head along the straight. A lot of slipstreaming opportunities, of course, around the Brands Hatch circuit here in Kent. Opened over 100 years ago. It was originally a dirt circuit, pretty much where the oval is. Take out your Druids hairpin. Sorry, pretty much where the Indy circuit is. Take out your Druids hairpin, and it was almost an oval. It was a motorbike circuit. It was after World War II that they decided to pave that circuit, and eventually, obviously, we got our GP loop as well. It has hosted Formula 1 Grand Prix in the past. Today, it hosts a more prestigious event, the Matt Malone Patreon League. Standings then of this championship are looking quite healthy from Matty Guil. He was a championship contender last season, lost out to Slugger in the final round of the season. I spoke to him earlier and he said that he is not looking hopeful about his championship chances of pulling away at the front in the second half of the season. On paper, the upcoming 5 rounds are not looking like they'll be his strong suit. That being said, he is currently the fastest in this session. He has not got 2 poles yet this season. Richard Dempsey, the only man who has taken 2 poles. He has, however, taken 2 wins, and we'll be hoping to get back into the top 5 here. As at the moment, out of 5 races, 3 top 5s is the most that we have had. Neither Guil or Dempsey finishing in the top 5 last time out around Chicagoland. Checkers is third in the championship right now. With his win last week, he does jump up the order significantly to place himself in third. 10 points behind Dempsey and 3 points clear of Auburn Kyle. Auburn Kyle, one of those drivers who I think could still pull himself into that championship. He is another driver that has got 3 top 5s this season. Luke Suds, he's racing here this week. We missed him last week, but he is back out on track. He is 5th in the championship right now, tied with Matt Malone. Big Al jumps into the top 10. It's nice to see him up there again. Could he get into the top 5 after this race? He's 7th right now. And defending champion Slugger really looking to do something the back end of this season now, because in the first half of the season he has only finished inside the top 5 once, and that was at the opening round of the season. He has had DNFs, he has had issues, and he has not had good results so far. Mecharm, he sits 9th in the championship with 41 points, clear of other race winner Sean Sims down in 10th. He got that winner course in the LMP3s around Okayama. He has not been able to pull up many other points throughout the other 4 races. In fact, in that one race where he won, he took 25 of his current 35 points. Right, now we have got just under 12 minutes left in this qualifying session. Let's go out and have a look at how these drivers are doing right now, as it looks like we are well, who are we watching? We're watching Mecharm, the number 62 machine. He's 6th in the session at the moment. I'm trying to get our timings up. There we go. We've got Matty Gwill sits in first right now, as I see some issues as annoyingly this loves to do this. Let's fix that. There we go. Brilliant stuff, as that was a round actually rate Mecharm. Now Richard Dempsey is 2nd at the moment, so Matty Gwill 1st in the championship, 1st out there. Dempsey 2nd in the championship, he sits in 2nd right now. They are 1st and 2nd, just ahead of Al Latufu in 3rd. So it is nice to see Al Latufu back up the order again. Can he pull himself into the top 5 in the standings? He'll be hoping so, and ultimately I'm hoping so as well. It'd be nice to see him up there once more. Bob's Jelly, of course, took pole position last week at Chicagoland, but unfortunately got a back flag for jumping the start. Both oval races we have had so far in this league has seen the pole sitter get a black flag on the race start. Will that happen again when we head across to Pocono for round number 9? Luke Suds moves into 6th position right now. Dempsey is running around without a toe. Now, like I was saying earlier, a toe is going to be a big impact on your overall lap time if you can find it at the right point in the lap, because you're going to want to get a toe along the pit straight. You're going to want to get a toe along the back straight onto the GP loop. And will these drivers be able to do that without losing time in the corners? That is the question, because of course they could also lose time in the corners if they are unfortunate enough to get a bit too close. Right now, that was a faster lap for Dempsey though, a 45.145. So even without the toe, these drivers at the front are finding quite fast lap times. Just going to say, if they can find toe, which Dempsey has now, is this going to benefit him? That's the question here. No, it won't, because there's a spin up ahead. Will it slow him down is the question. Looking at my delta, he is up. But of course, my delta has been wrong in the past, so I can't take it fully on that. But he is looking right now like he is running a nice lap time in the middle sector. You can just hear the gearbox in these things, and I'm always surprised to see when I get into the car that these cars actually are H-pattern shifter. They aren't sequential shifting. Pushing hard there. Let's sounded like a moment wanting to go down to third, but definitely stuck it in fourth here. In fact, let's see if we can get some gearing information here from Dempsey. Again, oh, there we go, down to third. There was a little tap on the brake there as we went through that corner. I'm thinking might have lost a little bit of time. It just sounds horrible, doesn't it, this car? It just sounds not very nice indeed. But can Dempsey find time this time around? Of course, he was held up just a little bit through Graham Hill Bend with a spin in front of him. Will it be an improvement this lap? It is, and a significant improvement at that. A 44.972 for Richard Dempsey. Can he take a third pole position here, which, if I am thinking correctly, nobody took more than 2 pole positions last season. Maybe Slugger did, actually. But it could be a third pole position here for Richard Dempsey. Talking about Slugger, he's in fourth right now. He's looking like it could be a better result for him. He's off right now onto the grass, though, so it will be an invalid lap. But if he can have a good qualifying here, get himself into the fight at the front, we could see Slugger finish in the top 5 again for the first time since round number 1. He is looking like he's got quite a nice lap time at the moment. Driver without a nice lap time is Matt Malone. He's 13th right now and in pit lane. It doesn't look like he is going to be getting a great lap on the board. 1.7 seconds off of Dempsey's time right now. 22 cars with a lap time in the server. The only driver without a lap time in the server is Auburn Kyle. Lap Traffic and Mecon, they swap positions there, 8th and 9th position, as Lap Traffic finds some time as we head towards the Indy Loop once more. Just want to push this car as hard as you can, especially when you're getting down onto brakes, and just see how much the throttle and the braking is being applied at the same time. It looks like Klein actually backing off on this lap here, lifting off of the throttle. Not too sure why. Possibly trying to open the gap in front of him to get a good toe, but not pull up that gap too much perhaps. This is Luke Suds. He sits in 6th in the session right now. He is 5th in the championship. Of course, top 3 in the championship are those that get the prizes. So they're the places you want to be. And with Dempsey and Gwill leading the championship right now, if they don't want to pay the fees of delivery, which are ridiculous for the pedals, I believe the pedals will go to the first non-British driver, the resident American driver in the championship, which could be Luke Suds if he keeps this up. Onto the brakes here. This is the corner through Druids, through that hairpin, that I think we are going to see a number of cars go around, especially on the first lap of the race. I think we could see a couple cars spinning, which could lead to carnage depending on how high up the car that spins is, because everyone piling into that corner all together could cause some issues. We're into the final 5 minutes of qualifying here as we prepare. Obviously 20 minutes of racing as normal in the league. We only change that when we go onto the ovals and it becomes a lapped count race. It's a 20-minute race. Otherwise, we are here for the final 4 minutes of qualifying. This is Matty Gwill. Can he find the almost 1.5 tenths of a second on Dempsey? Now, he does have a distance toe ahead, but again, it looks like he's backing off, unless that's just an issue with my telemetry. It looked like he was backing off along that straight. And actually, I'm looking at the timing. The delta, as Auburn Kyle gets in his first lap, he goes into 11th. Powski moves up to 5th. He had a great race last time out, Powski, so it's nice to see him once again up inside the top 5 here. But it looks like Matty Gwill just backing off on this lap to try and increase the gap to the car ahead. Now, I say that It's an interesting choice. The gap that he was, I say he wouldn't have closed down, but he would have got a nice toe. He's certainly going to get a toe here. It's just going to be a bit of a distant toe. But he's probably feeling like he can find that 1.5 tenths without needing a driver in front of him that could potentially slow him up in the corners. Going on to his lap here with 2 minutes 45 left, he'll have 2 more laps. Now that must be a telemetry error. It is. That is a telemetry error with the throttle there, because he certainly is holding onto the throttle out of turn number 1 there. Now on my timing, it looks like he is up just a little bit here. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do, slightly wide. As we'll see his predicted lap time now, a 42.7, currently a 42.8. So how much time is he going to lose along this straight, not being in tow? You can see that gap going, but right now, his predicted lap obviously a lot faster, but we'll see how that falls back as the lap goes on. It looks like he's about a tenth of a second down on his personal best right now. Certainly didn't look like he was carrying the most amount of speed through there. Trying to keep it on the tracks. It's very easy to push it off and extend track limits here, which you do not want to do. An incident ahead as well, though, and that is going to cause him to slow down a little bit more than he would have hoped for. As we head up now towards the final turn, back up into 4th gear through the final turn. Is he going to shift down to 3rd? No, he stays in 4th. Is that the best way to do it? A prediction of a 44.8, but it is dropping as he comes up towards the line, so it's not going to be a lap that he would have wanted. It's close though. Look how close that was. A 44.989 without that spin in front of him as he goes around. No, Matty Quill is not going to be able to go pole. But without the spin in front of him on the previous lap, could Matty Quill have taken his second pole of the season? It is very possible, but Richard Dempsey is the man out front right now, and not many people look like they are going to be improving on their last laps. This is Luke Sudds, however. He is up on his personal best time in the number 2 machine. As we come through the middle part of the circuit, actually we're heading up towards the end. He's onto the grass, and that will invalidate his lap. He was slightly up, but it just won't be enough. Qualifying ticks to close. Auburn Kyle crosses the line. He goes 10th overall ahead of Turbo Snail. And that is qualifying over and done here, as drivers just come around to finish their final laps of qualifying. We have completed 23 drivers around the qualifying lap, and Richard Dempsey will take pole position for the 3rd time this season. He has only been able to win once. Can he take a second win here today to fight with Matty Gwill for the championship? Gwill himself in 2nd on the grid. It is the championship rivals out front on the front row. With that being said then, let's have a look at how the race is going to line up after that 20-minute qualifying session. Richard Dempsey will start on pole position ahead of Matty Gwill, and Big Al will start from 3rd. Slugger is in 4th position ahead of Powski and Bob's Jelly. In fact, that is a change on the last lap for Slugger. He finds time on the last lap and goes past Big Al just for 3rd position. Big Al down to 4th. And Matt Malone finds a significant amount of time. This session, it was over, but it was not over. It was over, but drivers on their last laps finding time. Matt Malone goes into the top 5. That pushes Palski down to 6th place on the grid. 7th will be Bob's Jelly ahead of Luke Suds. Lap Traffic is in 9th ahead of Mecharm. Auburn Carl will start this one in 11th ahead of Turbo Snail. And Checkers found time at the end to go 13th. Tony Jabroni put in a lap time for 14th ahead of Provi in 15th. Minty the White Husky took 16th place ahead of Neil Trotter and Kyle Ditch. Nick Heslink is in 19th after a great result at Chicagoland last week. Jacob Klein is in 20th, the last of the point scoring positions. Ed Redfish will start at 21st place ahead of Skidmark, and it's DDO Deadman at the back of the field. 20 minutes will be on the clock here. That will be about 12 laps of this Brands Hatch circuit. Richard Dempsey is out front and will start this one from pole position. Matty Grill will start in 2nd ahead of Slugger. These are the 3 drivers that fought for the race win back in round number 1. They're the 3 drivers that were fighting for the championship last season. Dempsey not included in that championship fight as he was unable to make all of the races. The earlier race start here means that he is able to make the races this season, and it's placed him right in with an opportunity to take the championship. Who is going to come out on top? 20 minutes on the board. We prepare to start round number 6 here. We're green and we're away. A lot of cars sideways as they slide off the line. Not used to the way these cars behave on the race starts. A lot of positions changing there. As drivers head into turn 1, there's already contact. And that is the 03 machine around. More cars caught up in that one. That's Mecharm caught up. Lap Traffic, Palski. Palski was the driver that went around in the first place. Matt Malone side by side with Bob's Jelly. Bob's Jelly holds it on the outside line. Checkers looks like he is out of this race, which is a real shame for him, but absolute carnage through turn number 1 as expected. Out front though, Big Al has moved into 2nd position. Can Al Latufu finally win his first race in the Matt Malone Patron League? He has finished 2nd twice in this series. Can he win it? He moves to the left to try and take the lead off of Richard Dempsey. He's on the outside. It's a wider line around, and he has to stay back in 2nd right now. Richard Dempsey leading by 0.2 of a second as they continue through the GP loop. Down and out of the race, we can see a lot of cars, a lot of time for back, but Checkers, the only DNFer at the moment. Nick Heslink somehow has found his way almost towards the top 10. He's 12th place right now as positions continue to change behind as drivers go sideways, and another car round. That's the number 20 machine of Neil Trotter. He's collected by Nick Heslink after I said what a great start for him. Through goes Turbo Snail, back up to the lead fight though, and it's Dempsey and Big Al, but here comes Matty Grill. Matty Grill moves to the right hand side of the circuit. It is Big Al on the left hand side of the circuit, trying to get on the outside of Richard Dempsey. Can't do it. Dempsey at the moment is clear in the lead, but here comes Matty Grill. That's gravel from Dempsey. He slides the car. He's slow on the exit of turn number 1 into Druids here. They're side by side. Richard Dempsey leads the way. Big Al on the wider line. It's going to switch across though, and he is going to get the inside once more, and it turns the inside of Dempsey, but he's not going to be able to stick it. Here comes Slugger trying to get involved to get onto the podium now. Slugger's going to have to stay behind Matty Grill, and I can take a moment to breathe as they all settle themselves down into a single file line before they get their slipstream again. What an amazing little bit of racing to the start of that lap, but we've got Big Al on the slipstream of Richard Dempsey. The whole field up to about 7th place following behind him. Moves to the left and right hand side. Big Al follows this time. Grill looks to the outside and could invite Slugger to try and move back up to third. Can't do it. They all settle themselves down. This leading train of drivers, the leading 7 drivers in this race. It's Dempsey over Big Al. Then it's Matty Grill, Slugger, Bob's Jelly, Matt Malone and Auburn Kyle. And here comes Matt Malone to look up the inside of Bob's Jelly. Jelly is off the circuit. Malone looks to try and get through, can't do it. They've opened up that gap a little bit. As long as they settle themselves down though, they won't lose the slipstream. They continue fighting. Bob's Jelly on the inside, Matt Malone on the outside. They stay side by side. What line's going to work out best? Malone pulls ahead, and here comes Auburn Kyle to try and also get to the inside of Bob's Jelly as we go up towards turn number 1, back towards the lead fight. It looks like they settle themselves down just as the corner comes in. Auburn Kyle gets the inside of Bob's Jelly up towards the breaking point of Druids. And that's a car around. It's Richard Dempsey. He recovers, but race leader Richard Dempsey goes around and Slugger takes the lead of the race. Let's have a look at what happened there. For race leader Richard Dempsey, contact with Matty Grill. It was contact with championship rival. Dempsey went around. He's about a second off the back of this field, but he's certainly not out of slipstream range. He can come back in it. His race is not over. Matty Grill up the inside of Slugger here to look for his 3rd victory of the season. Slugger looking for his first and only his 2nd top 10 if he is able to get there. Sorry, top 5 if he is able to get there. He's got Big Al behind. Big Al's best result in this league is P2. Can he take his first victory here? It is his best opportunity yet. He is in the driving seat to make this happen. As we head through now up towards the last corner on the circuit, Matty Grill is 2/10 clear of Slugger, but that will mean nothing as the slipstream will pull him straight back in as we come through the final turn and up towards the timing line. It's a constant right-hander. You want to run it tight to keep that inside line. As Slugger moves to the left-hand side, Matty Grill sticks to the inside. Behind is Big Al. Looking to take the opportunity. Slugger, one's wide. He's onto the gravel. Big Al's through to second. Matt Malone takes third. Malone has not won a race this season. He moves past Matty Grill. Can Matt Malone take a win this season? He took 2 last season. Can he make it a 3rd win in the career history here in the Matt Malone Patron League? As that's Matty Grill going slow. Is there a slowdown for him? Because Slugger moves back through into 3rd. Richard Dempsey now a little bit of time behind as we got our intervals up so we can see. He's still about a second behind. So he's not closed up towards that top 6 too easily yet. But this fight at the front continues on as we head towards the bottom end of the circuit. Big Al is leading the race for the first time. Can he win? Matt Malone is looking to stop him from doing that and taking his first win of the season. Slugger, he really wants to win. He has not done well in the championship in the first half of this season. Let's have a look at the championship and how that stands right now. There's your top 10. As it stands, Matty Grill will be 10 points clear ahead of Richard Dempsey, and Matt Malone will move into 3rd in the championship. That's where he finished last season. This result for Slugger would put him inside the top 5. And for Al Latufu, he will be up there as well. For some reason, Al Latufu's championship standings don't always work. I think this will actually put Latufu into 3rd, but here comes Slugger to try and get past Matt Malone. Slugger's on the inside. Matty Grill behind as well, but Slugger moves back into 2nd. Can Matty Grill move back through as well? No, because Matt Malone gets the inside through the next corner, but it's going to be a switch over. Slugger moves to the left-hand side. That's Auburn Kyle now. trying to get involved as well, following the number 8 of Slugger up the inside. But that was a slow turn for Slugger. Did he gear down just a little bit too much? Richard Dempsey will be seeing this fight ahead of him and thinking, come on, keep on going, I can get involved. This fight, though, has given Aulatufu a 7/10 lead at the front. As the fight behind continues, this is Slugger and Bobshelly. Slugger falling down the order now. As we go through, the number 8 machine was up there in the lead, and it has just gone the wrong way for him at this halfway point in the race. But we can see how quickly everything can change, as we can see it so much that the cars decide to disappear on us for just a moment, and a huge crash out front. That's how quickly it can change. Aulatufu is off with Matt Malone. A huge accident has just taken the race leader and P2 out of this race. I'm really hoping we can see what happens. It's a spin. It's a spin for Aulatufu, and Matt Malone innocently caught up in it. Matty Gwill takes the lead, and after taking pole last week, I asked Bobshelly, could he win here? The answer is he has a real opportunity as Auburn Kyle slings it up the inside of Slugger, takes 4th position. Richard Dempsey is back in it. It's now a 5-car battle for the lead in this race, being led by championship leader Matty Gwill. I said that anything could change in a moment's notice, and that's exactly what has happened here as we go now up onto the GP loop. As I've hit the wrong button and everything disappears. Let's get that back up for you as we head through. We can see the slipstream now. Auburn Kyle ahead of Slugger. Slugger looks to the inside of Auburn Kyle. He's not going to be able to do it, but he does invite Dempsey to the outside. Dempsey now going to try and do this contact. Slugger and Dempsey contact, and Dempsey goes around. And he comes back on oh so dangerously. But what has happened there? It looked like Dempsey Slugger moves to the left. That is on Slugger there. Just moves to the left and drives into Richard Dempsey. Slugger now 1.5 tenths off of the lead fight. The lead fight now being Gwill, Bob's Jelly and Auburn Kyle. Matty Gwill has won twice this season. Bob's Jelly has never won in this league. Auburn Kyle debuted in this league at the start of season 2. Who is going to come out on top? Are any of these three going to come out on top? Because the fight for the lead keeps on changing. You can see the domination that Matty Gwill is putting into the championship standings if he is able to take his 3rd win of the season. Auburn Kyle looks up the inside of Bob's Jelly. Bob's Jelly gives him more than enough room. Lets him through there. They swap around. This will put Kyle in 3rd place in the championship. Right now, Bob's Jelly will move into a top 10 with this strong result. But Richard Dempsey will be 17 points behind the championship leader, Matty Gwill, if Gwill wins and Dempsey finishes 6th. I mean, Dempsey has Matt Malone and Provi less than a second behind him, so there's no guarantee he's even going to finish in 6th position here. As we head up towards the back end of the circuit, Matty Gwill has 6 tenths clear over Auburn Kyle and Bob's Jelly. We've got 8 minutes left on the clock. We have about 5 more laps remaining at the end of this one. As we continue to watch this fight, there are more fights going on. And as I said, Matt Malone is right behind Richard Dempsey right now. This is the fight for 6th position, and Richard Dempsey is black flagged. Richard Dempsey's day goes from bad to worse here at Brands Hatch. From pole to pit lane, Richard Dempsey has exceeded the incident limit and will need to visit pit lane. Will he dive down? This time around he does not. 7.5 minutes left on the clock right now. Half a second between Gwill and Auburn Kyle, because Auburn Kyle has made his way obviously ahead of Bob's Jelly last lap, and he still remains there right now. 7 minutes on the clock. Can Kyle close up to Maddie Quill? Of course, they are in slipstream, whereas Quill does not. As we head now up towards the GP loop, Matt Malone overtakes Dempsey. Dempsey is fighting it though. He does not care that he has got this black flag, that he needs to serve, and he swerves to the left. Matt Malone moves to the right. As they continue on through, that's a slightly wider line from Malone. He's going for the speed on the exit. The toe is going to help him, of course. Owl and Tufu looks like he will take a top 5, but he'll be reeling that he didn't win this one. He was in a perfect opportunity, and it was an error of his own making that collected Matt Malone, sent them both off into the gravel. Dempsey stays ahead of Matt Malone right now in their fight, but Dempsey does have a penalty to serve. Through the penultimate turn comes Bob's Jelly, following Kyle, following Quill, as they head into the final turn of the lap. It looks like right now they are hoping to get back into a fight, but we might not see it for a couple of laps as they go on to the 9th lap. 4 more to go. Here goes Matt Malone to the outside, but he goes actually a wider entrance into a tighter exit. He ducks up the inside of Richard Dempsey here for 6th position in this race. Dempsey with that penalty. Malone just can't carry the speed to get through, but he certainly keeps his wheels side by side, and he gets the inside of turn 1. Down Paddock Hill bend and up towards Druids here. As that's a car off the circuit. I think it's a back marker. No, it's Provy. Provy off and around, and major damage for Provy there. You can see, and that's another car off. More cars off. What's happened here? Let's see if we can figure it out. If there's been, it's a spin from Provy. Is it a collection? It is a huge collection there. He gets himself out of the way. But a huge collection. That's another car already off that I believe was a lap down. Bob's Jelly was in with a chance to take his first win of the league after taking his first pole last week. He's a second off of Auburn Kyle now, but Auburn Kyle, about half second of Quill, but he runs onto the grass and he throws away the time that he had gained. Matt Malone once again on the rear end of the black flag. Richard Dempsey still needs to come down pit lane here with 3 laps to go after this one. Neil Trotter and Meckham, they move past Jacob Klein. So it looks like Klein has had some sort of issue and could be out of this race as well. Joining, by the looks of it, lap traffic out of the race. Through the final turn they go. Will Dempsey finally dive his car down pit lane? Yes, he does. Richard Dempsey goes down pit lane to serve his penalty. Where is it going to bring him out here as he visits pit lane? Is it just a drive-through? I believe it will be. Dempsey falls behind Mintu the White Husky. Mintu having a great race here in 7th. Dempsey comes out. Carl Ditch has moved through, but it does look like Dempsey will rejoin inside the top 10. He lost his stat 2 weeks ago for always finishing inside the top 5, but he does hold the stat of always finishing inside the top 10. He is there once more. As we get through Druids Herpin right now, and it does look like we have seen lap traffic and Meckham out of the race. Neil Trotter is still out on track right now, but he is a significant amount of time behind. Of course, we saw the issues happening as more drivers down pit lane. This skid mark moving up the order because Ed Redfish is down pit lane. But if I'm not mistaken, Meckham out of this race in 20th, but will get the point for finishing in 20th place, because the points, I believe, are handed out whether you finish the race or not. So that could be points there as Jacob Klein continues to move down the order. This is once again a return to the fight at the front. Half a second between Grill and Kyle, 7/10 between Kyle and Bob's Jelly. We go on to the 11th lap of asking here, out of 12. As we go through turn number 1, both of the leaders onto the gravel. That's going to invite Bob's Jelly back up towards them now. This could be a fight for the lead on the final lap of the race. As Kyle has closed about a tenth of a second to Grill here. The slipstream is going to mean a lot on the back end here. Drivers getting their gearing right, getting their lines right, staying off the gravel are going to mean a lot, as it looks like Meckham may have just had another issue in his race as he comes through turn number 1. It's off into the gravel. No, he keeps on going up towards Druids. No, I don't know why it said that he may have crashed. Oh, there he goes onto the glass. No, he's fine. I don't know why it said that he may have had another issue. My timing is lying to me again as we continue to watch this fight up towards the front as we head up towards the Indy Loop once more. Bob's Jelly just 0.2 of a second off of Auburn Kyle here as we come up to the white flag. Who is going to end this one in front? Matty Quill is leading right now, championship leader at the front of the field. We come through the final turn here and up towards the timing line. Bob's Jelly loses back just a little bit, but Auburn Kyle now has an opportunity. The white flag is out. Auburn Kyle to the outside of Paddock Hill Bend, up towards turn number 1. A wider line, looking for speed on the exit. Can he get to the inside for Druids? It looks like he's going to try and get that inside. Matty Quill's going to let him. That certainly was Matty Quill letting Auburn Kyle through. It's Matty Quill hoping that he'll be able to get the slipstream on the back end of the lap here. It's a risky chance to take in this fight for the lead. Bob's Jelly just 0.4 back. An instant in the front here could promote him up the order, but Auburn Kyle going for his first win in the league. Matty Quill going for his 3rd win this season. Up towards the back end of the circuit, and you can see that the toe, that's why Matty Quill let Auburn Kyle through. Is Kyle still got his wheel up the inside? He does. That's why it's a risky move. Auburn Kyle remains side by side with Matty Quill here. They go side by side. Quill off of the circuit, but not into the gravel. Here comes Bob's Jelly as we go on through the last lap of the race. Bob's Jelly's up the inside of Matty Quill. Who's going to win this one? Matty Quill back up the inside of Bob's Jelly, but has that battle from Bob's Jelly invited Auburn Kyle in to win this race as we go to the final turn? It just needs to keep it on the circuit. But Auburn Kyle, he joined the season at the beginning, round 1 this season, and he will take the win around Brands Hatch. Championship leader Matty Quill will take 2nd, and after taking pole last week, Bob's Jelly recovers for 3rd place this week. Across the line comes Matt Malone in 6th. After being taken out from 2nd with contact with Big Al, who crossed the line in 5th. And Mintu, what a great result for him. Back inside the top 10 is 7th. Richard Dempsey holds on to 8th after all of those issues. Kyle Ditch crosses a 9 in 9th, and Tony Jabroni in 10th, as all the other drivers will be coming around to finish. What a win for this man here. It was a fantastic race for Auburn Kyle. Wins that one, took the lead on the last lap. Matty Quill gave him the opportunity through Druids to get up the inside. He knew that he'd have an opportunity along this straight here with the slipstream, but Auburn Kyle just kept his foot in. He got the inside line and Quill just not able to defend it. Bob's Jelly almost had the opportunity to go for the win, But with his fight on Matty Gwill for second, it gave Auburn Kyle an even bigger opportunity to just pull out at the front. What a fantastic race here around Brands Hatch. We knew that this round was going to create some fantastic racing, and it certainly has. Let's have a look at how the results are shown at the end of round number 6 here. Brands Hatch in the Formula Bs. Auburn Kyle wins that one ahead of Matty Gwill. Kyle taking his first win in league history. Bob's Jelly gets 3rd position in the end. Slugger somehow comes home in 4th ahead of Al Latufu, who spun from the lead of the race. Matt Malone, multiple bits of contact. He comes home in 6th, and Minty the White Husky crosses the line in 7th. Richard Dempsey wanted to be up there with Matty Gwill, but he falls further behind in the championship down to still in 2nd, but with an 8th place result in that race. Carl Ditch finished in 9th ahead of Tony Jabroni. Turbo Snail came home in 11th position ahead of Powski and Nick Heslink. Skidmark came home in 14th ahead of Luke Sudds and Provi. Jacob Klein took home 17th ahead of Neil Trotter. Both those drivers a lap down. Mecharm with issues down in 19th ahead of Ed Redfish, the last of the point scorers out of the race, and no points for lap traffic or out of the race on the very start of the race was driver who was in 3rd in the championship, Checkers. With that then, the championship standings not accurate because of the Al Latufu issue, which I will fix now that I know that that is the issue. If I'm not mistaken, Al Latufu will actually have enough points to place him into 4th position. So Matty Gwill leading the championship with 92 points out of Richard Dempsey. Auburn Kyle now getting himself invited into this championship fight, just 2 points behind Dempsey. Matt Malone will be in 5th in the championship because Al Latufu will be in 4th. Slugger will be in 6th, and Checkers down to 7th with that retirement. Luke Sudds is in 8th in the championship, and tied in 9th is Mecharm and Powski. We'll only look to the top 20 because then there's going to be a lot of open spaces here. Bob's Jelly has fallen back outside of the top, stays outside the top 10, but almost inside the top 10 now, actually. He's in 11th ahead of Turbo Snail and Mintu, the White Husky, who has been getting some great races lately. With that one over then, round number 6 done. We will be back next week for the 7th round of the season in the Pontiac Solstice as we head across to another British circuit at Cadwell Park. I hope you have enjoyed this race. I certainly have. It has been a fantastic evening of racing. If you are new around here and you want to catch up on all of the previous rounds, head across to our YouTube channel where all of the previous live streams and extended highlight videos are available to watch. Be sure to hit the follow button here as well though, so that you don't miss any of the future rounds. We are not done here though on Beehive Bill Broadcasting because we have another event coming your way, so don't go anywhere. The iRacing Renault Clio League is coming your way in just a moment's time. But here from the Matt Malone Patreon League, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.